What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Star Wars Battlefront 3 rumors. So this is definitely a couple days old, and I'm sorry it took me so long, but obviously this week was filled with news, and I wanted to give this video, or this topic, its own video. I actually, on my main channel today, I believe, I tried to recap, like, everything that happened this week, kind of a first of its kind, at least for my channel, for the show, but I wanted to give this topic its own video, because I felt like, obviously, it was big enough. So this comes from PlayStation Universe. We're just gonna kind of read straight through it, and then we'll talk about it. I do think honestly there's a lot to this. I do think could absolutely happen. EA hasn't confirmed that Star Wars Battlefront 3 is in development yet, but rumors about a sequel have started to pick up pace this week as two actors who worked on the previous game have been spotted in the studio working on motion capture scenes and scripts. First off, T.G. Ramini, who played Del Meeko, although if you're like me, you know him as DC Zane Nadir from The Bill. Everybody tells me to watch The Bill, and I haven't done it. Posted a picture of himself on Twitter about to strap on the motion capture suit, accompanied by the caption, "Hello, old friend." Meanwhile, Admiral Garrick Versio actor Anthony Scordi, and I hope I'm saying all these names right, by the way, revealed he's recording some new dialogue. In addition, both of them have given each other a pat on the back on Twitter, suggesting they're indeed working on the new project together. It's the same thing. Furthermore, I've never been able to say her name, so I'm just going to say Iden Versio, because I don't know how to say her name. She was supposedly in LA around the same time as these two in November last year. Add all that up, and it definitely seems like something is in the pipeline, but as always, nothing official has been announced, so take it with a grain of salt. So, well, here's the deal. I think that, and we talked about this over the last week because of the whole Ubisoft thing, because of Lucasfilm Games. I really think they're going to try to get they're going to try and get as much out of this license as they possibly can. Now, the thing is, and they've even said it, I really think they'll still make Star Wars games when it's over. I really, really do believe it. I think it'll be more selective. Because again, we don't really know. I mean, it sounds like Lucasfilm Games is going to be the one giving the projects out, right? They'll kind of scope out the studios and say, hey, you seem like you're a good fit for this, or we want to work with you on this. That seemingly is what's going on. So they picked Ubisoft. I mean, obviously, maybe they talked to a bunch of studios and they said, okay, this Ubisoft and then this team inside Ubisoft, we think you'd be a really good fit for blank game. And that came about. So I do think EA will continue. I just don't know what they'll be allowed to. I mean, it's very possible Lucasfilm Games says, hey, like, we want Jedi Fallen Order, so you can use Respawn for that, and that's it. Like, we don't have any interest in working with you on other deals. So we don't know, and those are all speculation. We don't know how it's all going to work out. But Battlefront, and again, like, the deal still has a couple years left. It still has a couple years left. So how many games can they try to push out in this short period of time? It seems like a long time, because it's 2.5 years. But in reality, to make a game, it really could only be 1 to 2 games, 1 to 2 games max. So is that a Knights of the Old Republic remake? Is that a Battlefront 3? Is that a Jedi Fallen Order 2? It could be a collection of those. Now the thing is, with EA and this and Battlefront, I would like to know who would be making it, because if we're going to go along the lines that they are making a Battlefront 3, is it DICE that's making it? Because DICE is working on Battlefield 6, and you probably want them to only, again, the issue with EA is that they have bad decision making, I would say, with their studios, including DICE, who is a very talented team, but as we know, they've been asked over the last several years and several games they've made, they've been asked to work on multiple things at the same time, when in reality, they are best suited to work on one thing at a time. So, Battlefield 6 is that game now, and they didn't even work on that, I would say, throughout the entire life, all on its own, okay, because they also were doing, the add-ons basically to Battlefront 2, but now they are working on it on its own, and so are they going to make them finish Battlefield, make DLC for it, because there'll be a season pass for it, and then also make Battlefront 3? I don't know. Or do they have another studio out that can do it? I would hope that one. You know what I mean? I would hope it goes that way. But I do think there's definitely something there. I mean, if nothing else for the number one, 2 people that did work on Battlefront 2, and they're both working on a game together. That doesn't have to mean anything. I mean, if you've learned anything in the gaming world, it's that these voice actors and these actors and actresses in general literally just get I mean, Laura Bailey is in like 500 things, which is kind of the stereotype kind of thing that like Nolan North and Troy Baker had always done, right? Laura Bailey is kind of like that third like triad for it, right? Where the 3 of them, if you pick a game, close your eyes and pick a game, one of those 3 is probably going to be be in that game. You know what I mean? And there's definitely several more people you can come up with that are highly known in the gaming world where they just do everything. So, but again, what I mean by that is like these two actors, they could very well just be working on another game. And it's just a fact that, you know, there's only so many of them, or there's only so many of these actors and actresses that get used in these games that, of course, they're going to find their way into working with each other multiple times. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see if that actually means anything. But I do think the general idea of getting a third Battlefront game out within the next couple of years, and you know, back with Battlefront 2 and then the DLC, or like just the add-ons, there really was no DLC, like the add-ons and just, you know, adding content over and over, they were pretty quiet on like a Battlefront 3. You know, I watched a lot of, you know, Battlefront 2 YouTubers that did like a ton of videos on it, and I kept my eye open on it as well, and I never really saw anything that would suggest like they're working on it right away. In fact, it seemed like a word on the street was that they were definitely putting it down for like quite a while. They're like, okay, we did it, we're done, we may come back, but it's not going to be for like quite a while. And so to come back, really, I would say pretty darn soon after they ended, you know, the additional support in Battlefront 2, that would be something. But I love Battlefront 2. I really did. The beginning obviously was awful in a lot of different ways for EA, but I think the general game, and especially when it got more content, was a phenomenal game. And if they just learn and don't make any more stupid mistakes, a Battlefront 3 could honestly be outrageously good. I really, really do believe that. So I hope it's true. I hope we're getting a Battlefront 3 within the next couple of years. I don't want it rushed, so I don't want them to rush it out in the next couple of years, but combining this with the Lucasfilm game stuff, right, of, you know, it's not just going to be EA, and they are going to be working with different teams. But also, don't forget another thing that was mentioned. So the big thing was the Ubisoft open world Star Wars game. That was one. Number two was that they were going to be working with Ubisoft basically beyond that. Number three is that they were going to be working with really any team, right, that this wasn't going to be the end. But number four is that EA was still going to make more games. And also, I guess number five, which is kind of the same as number four, is that there'll be more EA Star Wars games announced within this year. So they do have Star Wars projects in the works, EA, and it will be announced in 2021. So I think that's Jedi Fallen Order 2. I'll make a video for that this week, probably on my main channel. But I really think Battlefront 3 is the other one. I really, really do believe that. So hopefully we'll have to see. We'll have to just keep our eyes open. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think Battlefront 3 is being made? Who do you think is making it? If it's DICE, if it's not DICE, then who could it be? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.